I've got a Veterans Day talk at the table. It's about this day, honoring Americans who have served in the military, all branches, all positions. And one former Marine is saying that we should be looking for ways to allow our heroes to continue serving here at home. Jake Wood is co-founder of the disaster relief organization Team Rubicon and author of the new book, Once a Warrior, How One Veteran Found a New Mission Closer to Home. He spoke to us about the endless legacy of war and a new way to think about Veterans Day.
We called ourselves bullet sponges. You know, we'd go out on these counterinsurgency patrols in Iraq, and we would basically just wait for the enemy to attack us.
As a Marine sniper, Jake Wood deployed to Iraq in 2007 and then Afghanistan in 2008, never far from what the Marines call the point of friction.
Our tours were tough. They were bloodied. We took some of the highest casualties of any unit across both of our tours.
A fact that haunted Wood's parents and him as well.
My greatest fear was my mother burying me. When I got back from my second tour, my dad hugged me at the airfield, and he whispered in my ear that my mom had painted the living room 10 different colors since I'd left, and he said I had to stop doing that to her, and I took that to heart.
But if Wood had always been a somewhat unlikely soldier, a former college athlete, seemingly primed for business school, what was even more unlikely is what he did after leaving the military in 2010.
What was the plan at that moment?
Yeah, there was no plan, and that was the plan.
When a powerful earthquake devastated Haiti, destroying much of that country's infrastructure and leaving countless in need.
I'm sitting there, I'm watching it unfold, and it just looked familiar.
Wood decided to self-deploy, as he puts it.
This right here is your silver oxide or silver.
Gathering a small group of veterans and flying down to help.
It just became obvious that this is what we'd been doing for a decade overseas.
And they've been doing it ever since. Haiti was the start of Team Rubicon, a nonprofit co-founded by Wood that has since launched more than 700 veteran-led relief operations, including a big one out here on New York's Rockaway Peninsula.
8 years ago, this place was under, 3 feet of water and 1.5 feet of sand.
After Superstorm Sandy upended life here, Team Rubicon built an on-the-go operations center to put things right.
This right here.
This right here, yeah. So this nondescript parking lot right here.
Hundreds of veterans led the rebuilding efforts, coordinating thousands of volunteers.
We'd get our teams the equipment and supplies that they needed, and you just see, all these people just stream out and just kind of move across the neighborhood and just going, house by house to help these people who needed it.
And they soon realized that by helping others, these veterans were also helping themselves.
But I think what many veterans suffer from when they come home is a lack of purpose, a lack of meaning, and I think service to others has this opportunity to fulfill that.
When you're deployed, the stakes are literally life and death. When you come home and you're working a job, the stakes are probably, if I do well, I'll get a better TV next year.
There's definitely truth to that. Life and death stakes became so normal overseas. The idea that, you've got a sales quota to meet, I mean, if it's a high enough sales quota, maybe that'll do it for you. But I think for a lot of folks, they are looking for something that's more consequential.
With that in mind, it was here on Veterans Day 8 years ago when Jake Wood asked former service members, and is asking us right now, to reconsider the purpose of this federal holiday.
What does Veterans Day mean to you?
Veterans Day has evolved into something that's more of an opportunity to demonstrate to the country not what veterans have done, but what they're still capable of. We look at veterans and we're quick to thank them for their service, and that's good. We should do that. But I think we shouldn't be afraid to ask them to continue to serve.
So what's so interesting about Jake's perspective is he's saying that people who have crossed the Rubicon have made a commitment to service, and once they leave the military, that commitment continues, and they want to continue to have a mission here in the U.S., and part of what Team Rubicon provides is that mission, that disaster relief. 130,000 veterans have volunteered in about 10 years since the organization launched.
Wow. Yeah, but I love the thought behind it. I had to look up Rubicon. Commit to a course of action, which is what you just said. I'm very impressed with him. And how tall is he?
He's a very tall man. He played college football.
Hello, Jake.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, his mission is so clear, and I see where it helps the people that he's helping, but also helping themselves.
Yeah, it works
So
both
get
ways.
that.
I also love the story about his mother painting the living room 10 different colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Father saying you got to stop doing this to your mom.
That's a poignant one.
Yeah.
It's a good book, too. It's called Once a Warrior.
Yeah.
And he still is.
Yeah,
He still
in
is.
his own way. All right, Tony's conversation with Jake Wood will continue on today's CBS This Morning podcast.